We had Labour's 13 wasted years in power. 13 years when they failed to cut carbon emissions or invest in green jobs and renewable energy. 13 years when they tried to press through new coal-fired power stations and airport runways. 13 years when the gap between rich and poor grew to the highest levels in the UK since records began. Labour proved themselves unable to address the social and ecological challenges of their time in office. They lost their direction, their integrity, and their moral compass. It's little wonder that so many people have left Labour, and it's little wonder that so many people have chosen the Green Party as their new political home. So what about our new government of Conservatives and their sidekicks? What have they done in their first few months of power? We all remember that catchy slogan, "Vote Blue to go green," and we all laughed about it at the time. And what a joke it's proven to be. No sooner did they grab the keys to number 10 than they abolished the Sustainable Development Commission. It may have cost £2 million, but it saved the government more than £60 million through green measures. Does cutting that make any sense? Not to worry though, the Secretary of State for the Environment, Caroline Spellman, tells us that her department, DEFRA, will make this the greenest government ever. Well, she's going about it a strange way. By cutting DEFRA's budget by 40% and hacking apart the government's bodies tasked with looking after the environment. And what about our husky-hugging Prime Minister? He's backtracked on his pre-election commitment for power station emission standards, paving the way for new coal-fired power stations. He slashed the Department of Transport's budget by £600 million, crashing any hopes of revitalising public transport. He's given the thumbs up to deep-sea oil drilling off the Shetland Isles. Did the Gulf of Mexico ring no alarm bells with Mr. Cameron? I think it's clear that this is no green government. But what of the junior partner in the coalition? Can we rely on the Lib Dems to moderate the Conservatives? We've known for years that the Lib Dems like to shift their ground as the wind changes. But did we expect them to be quite so brazen, to strip off their political principles just to swagger through the corridors of power? Before the election, the Lib Dems said no increase in VAT. Now they say, OK, maybe up to 20%. Before the election, they said proportional representation or else. Yet last week, it was only Caroline Lucas talking about giving voters a PR option in the referendum. Before the election, they said Trident must be discussed in the defence review. Now they accept nuclear weapons as a given. Before the election, Nick Clegg said it would be disastrous to cut public spending too hard and too fast. Now, dazzled by the bright lights of government office, Nick Clegg is a passionate advocate of the savage cuts. And this week, Vince Cable announced plans to part privatise Royal Mail, which will threaten postal services in rural areas.
Shame.
So much for defending post offices. The Lib Dem election slogan was all about fairness and change. Well, to be fair to your voters, you need to change your slogan. Contrast this record with the Green Party's approach. We have thought through practical policies that would tackle these issues and improve people's lives. A Green New Deal to create 1 million new jobs in building a green economy. Jobs to start the essential work of providing renewable energy, building a fast, affordable public transport system. Jobs in local manufacturing and food production to boost local economies and reduce the huge social and environmental impact of global trade. Green policies will protect public services while clamping down on the tax loopholes that drain billions of pounds from our economy every year. Green policies would tackle the real cause of the recession and increase funding for public services by taxing high-risk transactions between banks. Green policies will protect the most vulnerable, both here and abroad. We would make all trade fair trade. We would not pander to the greed of big banks and global corporations. We would ensure that the rights of local communities and the health of the environment come before private profit. And we would withdraw our troops from Afghanistan and Iraq. We know what needs to be done. We know it won't be easy. But we know we can make a difference by getting more Greens elected. In Norwich, I've personally met a huge number of people on the doorstep who've told me that they won't be voting Lib Dem again. And we saw this confirmed in our local elections this week, when we gained another seat from the Lib Dems and beat them in 10 of the 13 wards across Norwich. And it's not just me who's noticed this trend. A headline in last Friday's Daily Telegraph proclaimed that Caroline Lucas could be Nick Clegg's nemesis. I've no doubt that she will be. Because the Green Party is a party that sticks to its principles. We're here to stand up for what's right, not to prop up the flawed ideologies of the other parties. We're not about to ditch our values and policies just to grab the reins of power. Conference, this has been an inspiring year at an exciting time for the Green Party. The mood of this conference is incredibly positive. It's been one of our busiest, most popular conferences, and I'd like to congratulate the conference organisers for all their fantastic work in bringing it together. The breakthroughs we've made this year have been entirely down to the tireless work and passion of all of you here today and Green Party supporters throughout the country. Thank you for your passion and thank you for helping to create a better world.